everybody, and welcome to another Beasts of the Mesozoic review. This is SaberX coming to you live with the brand new Wave 2 Tyrannosaur series, Proceratosaurus bradleyi by Creative Beast Studio and David Silva. So here we are. There it is. And before we take a look at this magnificent yet tiny figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging for it, shall we? So here we have our tiny box that the Proceratosaurus came in with, of course, our beloved Proceratosaurus holding a tiny mammal. Oh, and the artwork is done by Gabriel Uguido, who is an amazing artist whom you can see on Facebook and Instagram. He is actually one of the concept artists for Prehistoric Planet, specifically Season 2, if I recall correctly, but I believe he may have also been involved with Season 1 as well. You can always ask him if you so choose to. But, yeah. Just absolutely incredible. And inside the box you get this cardboard diorama which you can take out and place behind your figure if you so choose to. And of course, along with the figure inside the packaging, you get this special collector card with Gabriel Uguido's art on it of Proceratosaurus, and of course an obligatory product shot on the back along with factual information which is also on the back of the box regarding this particular dinosaur. And of course, just to show you, as said before, obligatory product shots. All the Tyrannosaurs for Wave 2, including Xianzhusaurus, which I reviewed previously, and Suski who I will follow after, because these were the first three figures that I showed off, well, that I bought for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Wave 2 Tyrannosaurs. And of course I bought them for my birthday, so that was an extra bonus. Now, in addition to the collector card, you also of course get your obligatory product shots. What am I talking about? Your instructions, I should say. Forgive my miscommunique. I'm getting a little tongue-tied tonight out of excitement, but these are the ever-important instructions which you will need to assemble your figure safely. Because this is a small figure. You could accidentally break it if you're not careful. Oh, don't make that mistake. I know I wouldn't want to, because I'd never be able to live with myself in regards to that if that happened. But, yeah, for this figure, the best way to assemble it is to use low heat from a hairdryer or hot water. I personally prefer the hairdryer. It is much easier and it works 99.99% of the time. And yeah, it's great for loosening up joints. It's great for pretty much everything in regards to softening the figure just enough that you can loosen the joints without fear of breaking your toy. Now, additionally, you also come with, the figure also comes with spare feet. And these are kind of hard to see because they're very small and the camera doesn't seem to want to focus on them very well. But you get 2 sets of running toes, or rather 2 sets of mid-step toes, and then you get 2 sets of running toes. Running toes, mid-step toes. I don't know why I keep wanting to mix them up. And of course, you also get this translucent plastic cradling rod piece, which also goes with this cradling rod here, this posing rod, which you can of course lean the figure against like I've done here. Personally, I find that to be the easiest way of displaying the figure, because then I don't have to deal with the uneven stand if I don't want to. Or rather, I can still have it be with the stand without the risk of the dinosaur falling over due to the uneven surface. But he can stand up without it. And of course, he tries to knock himself down the moment I try to stand him up without it. But yeah, he's got some pretty precarious balance, which is why I do not like to pose him without the stand. But in regards to the figure itself, yeah, absolutely incredible figure. Now, going into the details on this figure, if I can get the camera to focus, that's better. Just gotta hold them at a certain distance. You can see absolutely the brilliant color scheme of this particular dinosaur. He is absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's absolutely incredible what they did for this animal. This is an amazing, yeah, just an amazing figure. And yeah, he is posable. He's got about, I would say, 20 points of articulation. He's got his jaws, which can open about that far, like that. Head can move up and down, like that. So can the neck. And of course, he can move his head right about that far, and the neck. And he can move his head about that far. Same with the neck. Just absolutely incredible in regards to that. Now, the other cool thing about Proceratosaurus in regards to the figure is that the arms also move. They can rotate a full 360 like so. They can move at the elbow about that far back, just about, and then that far forward. The wrists can move in and out, and he can rotate his wrists, though I don't recommend it because, one, it does not look natural, and two, there is the potential you could accidentally pop them out of the wrist socket. The legs can also move a full 360, though I don't recommend it, so I'm only going to move them about, oh, that far backward and about that far forward. But yeah, full 360 degree movement. Knee joints bend like so, and they're a little bit stiff, but that's okay. Yeah, he absolutely has some amazing ankle joint movement here. Can move it about that far forward, and he can move his feet forward, back, and side to side, just like with the larger figures. But again, I try not to do that too much because I don't want to accidentally knock him down. He has enough of a hard time standing up as it is. But the tail can also move. It can go right, left, up and down like that. And of course there is a wire in the tail so you can actually move it however you want. And of course the legs also do splay in and out a bit. But yeah, that's Proceratosaurus' movement. Now, Proceratosaurus is a very interesting dinosaur, and I really enjoy what they did for this figure in regards to its color scheme. It is absolutely incredible, and it's one of the most amazing color schemes because of how realistic it is. Yeah, but I just love the way the color fades, just fades into that nice dark brown at the top and then counter shading on the bottom with the stripes. Just absolutely insane. Now, if I recall correctly, the color scheme is based off a unique bird I've never heard of. I think it's called a bradleyi bird. Again, I've never really heard of that one before today. It's one of the few birds I really haven't heard of, and I'll have to look it up in my bird book later. But yeah, just absolutely phenomenal color scheme that David chose for this particular dinosaur, and it works for it. Now, in regards to Proceratosaurus itself, this is a very, very interesting little dinosaur. This is basically the earliest known tyrannosaur we have. It is known from the White Limestone Formation of England, I believe Oxfordshire, England, to be specific, but I could be wrong. And yeah, it basically indicates that tyrannosaurs had a British origin. At least as far as we know. There could even be earlier tyrannosaurs, but this one is definitely one of the more unique tyrannosaurs. This is a member of the Proceratosaurid family of tyrannosauroids, which are basically the supergroup to which tyrannosaurs belong. And yeah, it's the earliest one known. We only have a skull for it, though, and a partial one at that, so we don't really know much about what its body looked like, but based on its cousin Guanlong, which was very similar, we do have an idea, and I'll showcase that in just a moment. So here's Guanlong, just to compare with its cousin Proceratosaurus, and as you can see, they do look very similar, other than color. You can see they both have the head crests that denote them as Proceratosaurs. And these were some of the most successful early tyrannosauroids. They actually include dinosaurs such as Dilong and yeah, Guanlong itself, not to mention the Russian species of tyrannosaur called Kailiscus, which was another Jurassic tyrannosaur. And these animals are from the early, or rather the middle to late Jurassic into the early Cretaceous. They were quite successful as a group, and the largest example of a Proceratosaurid we have is in fact Eutyrannus. It's basically the ultimate Proceratosaur. But yeah, Proceratosaurus is an incredibly interesting animal. It probably would have lived alongside dinosaurs like stegosaurs such as Dicentrurus, maybe Megalosaurus itself, or possibly Eustreptospondylus, which you might recognize from Walking with Dinosaurs, but yeah, definitely an interesting animal. And the name Proceratosaurus is interesting as well. It used to be thought that this animal had a small nasal horn just like Ceratosaurus, and it was at one point thought to be its ancestor when it was discovered in 1910. However, recent evidence from the last decade shows that it is in fact a early tyrannosaur. And yeah, that classification has withstood scrutiny ever since. But absolutely fascinating little dinosaur. And it would have been about 13 feet long in real life, so fairly good size. About the size of a human in regards to weight, so between 150 to 200 pounds. So, not the biggest tyrannosaur, but fair sized by comparisons to other large animals. Now, in regards to size comparisons, this 8-inch figure, here it is compared with the 12-inch Tyrannosaurus. As you can see, it's quite a bit smaller. Now, I'm also going to show you real quick how it compares with its larger cousin, Tyrannus. I'm not going to do Tyrannosaurus itself along with this because it's just so big and heavy that I don't accidentally want to knock it down or anything like that, but here it is with its larger cousin, Tyrannus, the largest known Proceratosaur. And as you can see, it's a far cry from, it's a far cry from being the largest Tyrannosaur. And these are to scale with one another. These are both 1/18th scale. Oh, it's just huge compared to Proceratosaurus. Yeah. But, yeah, absolutely. One of the more interesting Tyrannosaurs out there. And definitely one I have not regretted getting. And the cool thing about Proceratosaurus is that it's also made a couple of appearances in popular culture. Among other things, it is one of the dinosaurs you can unlock in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So if you have that game and you're trying to unlock small carnivores for the game, Proceratosaurus is one of the ones you can get. And yeah, not feathered like in the game, not feathered like in real life, it probably would have been, but yeah, still a very cool dinosaur nevertheless. Yeah. Now, in regards to price, this particular figure is approximately $40. I got it for $35 because I got pre-order pricing just before the pre-order store for the Wave 2 figures closed. Wave 3 figures are still available on BackerKit if you want to get them for pre-order prices, but now that they are in stock, at David Silva's warehouse at Creative Beast Studio, it's now $40 for them, for the small ones. But if you want a small Tyrannosaur for a decent price, this is a good one to get. It's one of the more unusual Tyrannosaurs, and this is basically the ancestor of them all. As far as we know, this is the one that had gave rise to everything from T-Rex to Tarbosaurus to Tyrannosaurus to everything else. It's just absolutely incredible that they all came from an animal just like this. And if you really want a small Tyrannosaur, yeah, or a small dinosaur in general, this is definitely one to go with. It is well worth it. It is fantastic. You can pose him any way you want, and you can have him doing basically whatever you want him to do in regards to posing him certain ways. And yeah, there's no limit to what you can imagine with this figure. It's just absolutely fantastic. So I can't recommend getting this figure enough. I do not regret this, and yeah, I am not going to for quite some time. Scratch that. I am never going to regret getting this figure. But yeah, he's just incredible. And he's probably my favorite of the small Tyrannosaur figures. So, yeah, I'm telling you, this is worth your time and money to get. And he is too cool to pass up, and I think you'll really be kicking yourself if you don't get this guy. He's absolutely amazing. So this is SaberX signing off saying, you're never too old to play with toys. Hey, be a toy nerd, be proud of it. And please remember to comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. Thank you. Have a good evening. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.